Do you want to hear the fun story about how I manifested my car? Stay tuned. My name is Wendy Irene, and I create videos to help you live a life that's magnetic, filled with love and purpose. Okay, the energy has been really heavy this week. I don't know why. I cried again last night. Somebody made me upset and I cried again. And it's not that time for me of the month. So we're on multiple times this week. So I thought it was time to share a fun story with you. When I was 17, I saw a Jag in a mall parking lot and I just fell in love with it. And I knew that that's the kind of car I wanted. Fast forward later on in life, I'm in my 30s and a family member at the then time, my children's father's family member bought a Jag, which I thought was really cool. And then eventually later on, they decided they didn't want it anymore. It wasn't a good fit for them and it was getting older. So they gifted it to us. So that was how I got my first Jag, how I manifested my first Jag, because the manifestation started when I was 17 years old. And then, okay, I got in an accident. Someone ran a stop sign and hit me and it totaled the car. A couple cars later, I was driving a truck and I decided that I had gotten a truck thinking that that best matched the future life I saw for myself. But then it wasn't, some stuff happened and it wasn't working for me and I didn't like driving it in the winter. So I decided I no longer wanted to drive a truck for my personal vehicle. So I started to search for a car. Of course, a Jag was in my head, but I couldn't find one that matched all what I was looking for in my price range. So I had settled on a different car that I still really liked, but it got held up because it was at a dealership where one of the managers was currently driving it around, so it had to be cleaned up, so it stalled the purchase. In that stall, a Jag popped up at a different dealership, and I went there and they offered me more money for my truck than I paid for it. And if you know anything about cars, that doesn't happen. Cars depreciate. I had been driving my car for a while, but there was such a big demand that they offered me more than I paid for my truck, even though I had scratched it too on a garage. So I was able to get the Jag that was available for a price that I could afford monthly. And it's not my perfect shape, but it's exactly what I needed for having a family at the time. So manifestation works.